Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I am constantly asking the question, why are the facts not the facts? Well, it's so they can change all the time to fit whatever narrative the predator class sees fit. And I want to talk about those competing narratives of what are acceptable to talk about, what are not acceptable, and then how there is kind of this looping factor of people arguing on social media with their set of facts and these set of facts. And one of the more stunning things that Mr. Bill Gates there, the guy who's apparently in charge of solving the world's problems, not only in health, but education and weather and just about anything you can imagine, because he's our new dark overlord. He admitted that basically the U.S. tests, half of them are completely garbage. Now, that's important. Why? Well, with the World Health Organization out there now saying we have a 99.4% survival rate, right? The more actual infections there are, whether or not they're symptomatic or otherwise, what does that do? That lowers the death rate. So now you're going to have like these competing narratives of what the death rate really is, because we all know that the tests themselves are highly inaccurate on many levels. So before we get into that and we get into this great article in the Telegraph, lockdown supporters cannot bear the thought that Sweden got it right. And that's another one of these sets of facts. You show them that Holland's open. You show them that Sweden didn't shut down. You show them there's no spikes after large gatherings. Right? If anybody can show me anybody that's done any kind of study or work in a correlation between any event, whether it be a protest, whether it be a sporting event, whether it be a rally of a spike in COVID afterwards, I'd love to see it. But anyway, normally this would be the point where I ask you to donate to the GoFundMe. But if you watched my broadcast last night, my GoFundMe is completely on hold, without notice, without an email. So we did it live on air, but we requested to find out why in the world my GoFundMe is on hold and what's being reviewed about it, etc. We'll see what happens there, but it might be gone for good. Who knows? I mean, you might be getting refunds, folks. Almost $1,000 and a $999, but who knows what's going to happen there. So right now, I haven't been shut down on PayPal. JasonIsVoid@yahoo.com. $5, $10, $15, big donations. It means the world to me now that I'm even under more attack, right? We're fully demonetized on this platform. Forget about being promoted or any of that stuff. Deemed harmful content without pointing out one harmful thing I've done in over 1,200 videos, now over 1,400, right? But it shows you the selective nature of speech. And I got a great tweet about Ford Fisher about that right now. But let's talk about it. See, I can talk about this and the fact that you actually have people that want the lockdowns to be the good thing and can't bear the thought that not locking down is a good thing, which is totally crazy, right? But I probably couldn't say that on this platform because it's against certain health guidelines, other than the fact that it's published in the Telegraph, right? Let's just read this really quickly, okay? Sweden has fulfilled the same role during the COVID-19 crisis as Argentina fulfills in every World Cup. It's the team which everyone, apart from the natives themselves, naturally want to get beaten. This has been especially true in the liberal U.S. press, which has taken time off from berating Donald Trump to publish lengthy pieces on the supposed failure of the Swedish approach. The Swedish government didn't enforce social distancing, began the Washington Monthly. For example, in May, when Sweden briefly had the world's highest death rate from the disease, it's now paying the price in lives and GDP. Even neighboring Nordic countries, normally peas in a pod, have taken against Sweden. When Denmark and Norway reopened, right, their borders to the world, they initially left out Sweden. See how it works? And again, you have to subscribe to keep reading it, but they punish you for freedom. It's not just in the United States. It's not just in New York, right? 39 states you're supposed to quarantine yourself if you visit. Okay? This is a global thing. This is global. That's what's really scary about this. And when I say that, you got to understand this is about control. This is a transhumanist agenda. What are they pushing? What? Oh, you're going to have to wear masks for several years. This is a piece from about a month ago. They keep prepping you, pushing you. Several years, America. I can't go 5-10 minutes without getting visibly upset, start sweating, getting angry. And meanwhile, here's one again. It's the same New York Post that's pushing that fear, right, with that headline, has to also admit this. This is yesterday. New York City Councilman Paul Vallone credits hydroxychloroquine for COVID-19 recovery. Let's read a little bit of this. All right? Now, again, I'm not saying hydroxychloroquine is a cure. I'm simply reading from the mainstream media, an authoritative source. A Democratic New York City councilman says hydroxychloroquine saved his life after a near-fatal run-in with COVID-19 in March. Paul Vallone, who represents Northeast Queens, took the drug along with the standard Z-Pack, given for bacterial infections, and came back from the brink almost immediately. Wow. I couldn't breathe. I was very weak. I couldn't get out of my bed. My doctor prescribed it. My pharmacy had it. Took it that day, and within 2 to 3 days, I was able to breathe. Within a week, I was back on my feet. So I'm just saying, he's a New York City councilman. He says he took it. Maybe he's a liar with all these other people that say they took it. Maybe he's a liar, right? Maybe all these doctors are liars that are talking about it. Who knows? But here's the big fear. You ready? 100,000 children test positive for COVID in the past 2 weeks. So that's mid-July to the end of July. Now, remember, it's okay that Bill Gates says that most U.S. tests are completely garbage, right? Completely garbage. But they'll fearmonger and tell you 100,000 children tested positive. How many had any symptoms? They never tell you that in these articles, by the way. How many are hospitalized out of those 100,000 that supposedly have it? So far, I'm not seeing any. This is all for the big fear run-up on universities and going back to school. This is it. So again, on one end, you're allowed, if you're Bill Gates, you can now tell people that the tests are completely garbage, right? Most U.S. tests are completely garbage. But then you have this huge hyped up number of, spikes in cases that supposedly have no correlation to massive gatherings, right? And we'll get to that in a moment. And the other thing is, all of these narratives, what are they based in? Well, I would say that this one right here is based in fiction. Bill Gates' pandemic's misery will happen regularly if climate change is not stopped. This is a guy that's not only talked about controlling the weather, right, knocking out hurricanes and all these other things, not only that, but of a carbon credit system. Remember, with this social credit score, this meritocracy, this automation nation and a UBI that they want to install in place, right, the track trace database system that goes beyond just digital coin, right? Watch Westworld, especially this season. I know it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but the way that society was set up, I just think they overplayed the fact there would be that many humans around. Because they don't plan on having that many humans around. If climate change isn't stopped, these pandemic miseries will happen regularly. More control, more control, more control. We want more control. That's all that means. Okay, but is that okay? Can I say that? And remember, Bill Gates is telling you that this is not even going to be the big pandemic, that there's more to come. And now there's headlines that the Black Plague, the Black Death, the pneumonic plague is back. And it's in China. And they've locked off an area. Okay? I'm just warning you. I'm not saying that that's not hype. I'm not saying that's even true, right? Because it's an expert that confirms it. I'm just saying that that's making its way into the media narrative now. Let me show you what's not making their way into the media narrative now. They said thousands were at Sturgis. 7,000 people. I mean, there were estimates at 250,000 in and out of there. And I don't know what those are, whether or not, but when you take a look at how many people showed up, I mean, that's one of the very few people, if you watched my video yesterday, that's wearing any kind of a face shield or a masks. In fact, the headlines are no masks. You notice that there aren't stickers everywhere. There aren't stickers everywhere telling you where you can sit and how you can live. I mean, you got a guy on a breathing machine out there, not worried about it. I'm just saying. I know. Oh no, that woman coughed in her mouth. That's another thing I can't stand about this. Nowadays, I think that's actually kind of cute. The kid with the tattoos. It's kind of funny. Nowadays, if you cough, everybody looks at you like you might kill them. That's ridiculous. So now I'm not allowed to cough. Again, look at all this normalcy going on over the weekend. Good for Sturgis. 80th anniversary, and they didn't bow down to fear. So I'm so proud of that. But again, the media will act like all these people are demons. We talked about how there was a city councilwoman in Tennessee, who literally wanted to charge people with attempted murder or murder for not wearing a mask. Well, I think more of America needs to rise up like the biker culture and get together and just say enough is enough is enough. So once again, guys, I normally would say go hit the GoFundMe to support me, but right now it's frozen. And obviously, as soon as I hear back from them, as we did it live, we appealed live, I will let everybody know if we're ever going to be able to use that platform again, but I don't understand why it's under review in the first place. So if you want to support me, there's my PayPal right now for now. PayPal, who knows, they've banned people too. And if YouTube thinks I'm harmful content for reading a bunch of mainstream articles and giving my opinion on them, well, there's not much I can do at this point, but continue to fight back and continue to put content out everywhere, right? And by the way, on Twitter, I simulcast the majority of these videos, so you can also, if I do get taken down there, for now I'm on the Jack Dorsey platform. But in the playlist section right now, all my documentaries are free. Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. You can check them out right now. Thumbs the video up, subscribe and share. Join the Burmis Brigade while we're still here. And again, fully demonetized on this platform, doing what we can to spread the truth. Rockfin, if you want to support me, you can also support me there. If you do support me and endorse me for $9.99 a month, you also get Askren, Dorr, Kim Iverson, Nico House, right? Duke Rufus is on there, Sam Tripoli, John Fitch, and so many others. And again, it's a growing platform, but it's a cool platform. And tomorrow at noon, you can create a free account on this one. Tomorrow at noon, I do a free live stream over on Rockfin. It's totally exclusive to Rockfin, so create the free account. Go there. If anything, we're going to be posting there more and more. I love you guys. It's not about left or right. It's about right and wrong, and I will see you all on the flip side.